Hello, I'm Joe Spina, and welcome to the Joe Spina Show, otherwise known as, frankly speaking, common sense, life on the fast lane. It's a place where truth is our mission, reality our route, said as we see it, and frankly as well. From Cotton to Congress is a powerful story. It's a wonderful tale that fired a bazooka right at the heart of the false narrative that America is systemically racist. Listen to this one. In a lifetime in America, a 94-year-old Black American who was a cotton sharecropper and a grandfather got to see his grandson elected senator from the deep southern state of South Carolina. Does racism exist in America? Of course it does. It exists everywhere, where two out of three people are of a different shade or a different ethnicity. It's the natural human instinct. Bigotry, racism, sexism, the whole shebang has to some degree existed and will perhaps persist to exist forever. But is it systemic? And if so, how does one explain Kamala Harris, a woman of color elected vice president of the United States? Or for that matter, Barack Obama, who was elected twice as president of the United States, whose father came from Kenya. What about Thurgood Marshall or Clarence Thomas, both of whom aspired and became Supreme Court justices? That's not chopped liver. Cory Booker, Tim Scott, that grandson from South Carolina that came from Cotton to Congress. Raphael Warnock, recently elected from the state of Georgia. What about billionaires like Oprah Winfrey, JC and Beyonce, Michael Jordan, to name a few? This couldn't happen if this country was systemically racist. It runs against logic. It runs against common sense. On a personal note, my dad lived to see me elected to public office, his son. Like Senator Scott's grandfather, my father lived to see me elected to public office. My dad came from this country as a teenager, little education, couldn't speak a word of English. And all he asked America for was an opportunity. And America provided and obliged. Italians, especially those from Sicily, from whence my father came, faced harsh discrimination in their time, as the Irish before them did, and others thereafter. But America is self-correcting. That's what makes the country great. Systemic racism, systemic bigotry, no. Does it exist? Yes. My story's caption would run something like this: from shining shoes to shining hill. Salvatore, my dad, my father, he shined the shoes of the Browns that lived on Beacon Hill in Boston, Mass. My granddaughter, his great-granddaughter, lives on Beacon Hill in a lifetime. That's the American dream. Sitting behind President Biden was the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, at the recent joint session of Congress. She is of Italian extraction, I suspect probably Sicilian as I. And in normal times, Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito, both Supreme Court justices, would have been at that event, or would have been in attendance. That speaks volumes to how far people can go in this country with opportunity. If racism and bigotry were the dominant factors within the fiber, are innately part of the American system, that would not be possible. What we need to follow, we don't need to follow, that's the point. We don't need to follow the science to understand that systemic racism and bigotry can't be. It's that simple. Otherwise, You wouldn't have Kamala Harris as vice president. You wouldn't have had Barack Obama as president. Nancy Pelosi wouldn't be Speaker of the House. Clarence Thomas wouldn't be on the Supreme Court, and Thurgood Marshall and Sam Alito, and whomever. Uh, this is the beauty of our country. We ought to applaud it, celebrate it, revere it. Forget about the systemic racism malarkey. Speaking of malarkey, you heard a lot of it the other night. Have a great one.